Hi, my name's Sunny and I'm one of the physical therapists at Ride On. My colleague Roxanne and I wanted to share with you a quick video describing the differences between physical and occupational therapy services at Ride On. As a physical therapist, the main impairments that my patients present with are limitations in balance, postural control, strength, coordination, motor control, high or low muscle tone, and many other impairments. At Ride On, our goals are not only functional, but they are family-centered. We use the horse's movement as a treatment tool in our plan of care, which among many other benefits provides a low-impact environment with more repetitions of each activity than are able to be offered in a traditional clinic setting. I wanted to give a few examples of how we can address the impairments I mentioned during a physical therapy treatment session using the horse's movement. To focus on balance, we might have the patient reach for rings or objects at a challenging distance while on the horse. For transitions, we might have the patient complete sit-to-stands while on the horse with use of stirrups. To work on coordination, we may practice ball skills including throwing and catching while on the horse. To work on postural reactions, we may have the horse stop or start suddenly or change directions. To help with high muscle tone, we may focus on continuous movement from the horse rather than sudden stops and starts, which may actually increase muscle tone. To work on motor planning, we could have the patient turn around on the horse 360 degrees, so they have to plan every movement of every limb, how to get from point A facing forward all the way sideways, backwards, sideways again, and facing forward. All these skills are able to transfer to functional activities on the ground, such as walking, jumping, negotiating stairs, transitioning from sitting to standing, and maintain independent standing, which is why a patient might spend time both on and off the horse during a typical treatment session. Now Roxanne is going to speak about occupational therapy.
Hi, I'm Roxanne Chess, an occupational therapist with Ride On Therapeutic Horsemanship. First of all, I hope everybody is safe at home and healthy while we ride out the coronavirus pandemic. And in the meantime, we wanted to bring you some fun and informational videos until we're able to get back to the barn. So today I thought I might share with you a little bit of what a session of OT or PT might look like using equine movement. So a lot of people might have heard of hippotherapy or therapeutic riding and be wondering what's the difference and what might a session look like. So that term hippotherapy is really occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech-language pathology sessions using equine movement. And so you might be wondering, what does that look like and how are therapeutic goals addressed in this setting? Because we're not teaching the skills of riding with OT, PT, and speech. Instead, certainly with occupational therapy and physical therapy, there tends to be some overlap, so I'll focus on them. In a session, you might see your child or the client, your friend or family member be working on strengthening skills. So certainly when we're on a horse, there's a lot of core strengthening and postural stability first and foremost. When the horse moves forward in space, you need to catch yourself and come forward. When the horse slows down or stops suddenly, which will often elicit on purpose using horse handler, giving them some cues, they can make that happen. So then there's a much faster jolt and you need to activate through your extensors, all the way from your head down to your glutes. And if there's stirrups being used, there's some stability there as well, so activating through the legs. It's also really exciting to recognize that upper body strengthening can be done on the horse. So a lot of times we'll have warm-up activities where the client's arms will be out to the side, they'll be out like this, or they'll be up to the sky, we'll be reaching forward, getting a co-contraction from the pectorals and the abdominal muscles, not to mention working the shoulder girdle as well. But additionally to that, we do weight bearing, where the client will be prompted to pitch forward and bear weight on their hands on the horse, on the pad in front facing forward, but also in rear facing, which is actually much more of a challenge due to the movement of the rump of the horse. So that's a really great challenge. And additionally, we'll do upper body weight bearing as well as prone extension. So being on your belly in prone position, lifting your head and neck up against gravity. So we'll literally turn a client, if they're appropriate for this position, perpendicular to the horse. So the horse is moving forward in space, the client is laying on their belly over the barrel of the horse, facing a side walker on one side, the therapist on the other side, and they're bearing weight on their elbows, lifting up. So it's a really, really good exercise. On top of that, you'll see the use of lots of toys and materials. So you might see use of a basketball hoop, you might see use of a mailbox, cones and rings around the arena, all different kinds of toys that we have available, but those are really therapy tools that we're using. So we might have somebody reach outside their base of support. So if there's stirrups, they might bear weight into the stirrup and twist and reach. You'll notice I'm using two hands because we'll often engage in elicit movements that are from an NDT or neurodevelopmental theory treatment approach. On top of that, we'll also work on spatial timing and motor planning through space. So moving slowly, the horse is walking slowly as we get closer to that basketball hoop, and then throwing while we're moving through space. We of course can also break things down and do slower or stationary activities. So there's a lot of different materials involved, a lot of different movements. We'll have the horse move in different positions, again by asking the horse handler to do this, where the horse can go in circles, in different schooling figures like a figure of 8, lengthening and shortening the stride, or using hills on our little trail to get more input in particular ways. So all different things that we're picking out therapeutically to address that individual's goals. People often wonder how we work on fine motor skills while the individual is on a horse, and that's a great question. It's actually ideal to be working on fine motor skills after the postural system has been engaged. So when a person is on a horse, it's intuitive. We understand that their trunk is active. And so having that proximal stability, that near musculature from the trunk, the shoulder girdle, the head and neck activated, as well as your arousal system, so you're alert and you're ready to engage, supports your ability to participate in fine motor skills. So it's better than having a child at a table where their postural system might start to go down a little bit. They might not be eliciting all of their musculature, partly because the arousal has gone down. But when we activate with vestibular or movement input from the movement of the horse, all of a sudden the postural system comes into play, and this supports the more distal or fine motor use in the hands. It's more distal, it's farther away, and so we need that proximal center base of support. So it's really useful to work with clips, coloring. Sometimes we can even stop the horse and work with scissors. We can also work with blocks, all different kinds of toys that are fine motor engaging on the horse. We simply bring these materials with us and either pause the horse if we need to, or we can go at a slower pace and do some of those activities. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you back at the barn soon.